Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray and today we continue our entry level to Megabase series where we are still working towards our 4K science a minute, even though we haven't put down the first science lab yet in our new Megabase. So one of the first things I want to do this episode is trying to solve this small amount of congestion we have right here. We have a few ways to do it. We can pretty much just put down one of these, but so far I think it still will be a bit too much of an overkill. So what I'm gonna do is just copy these a few times down this line so we can add in, or at least take a blueprint of this part. That way, oh, that's a horrible way to line it up. But that way we will have a little blueprint we can put down wherever we think it's necessary, and we'll get some more charging going. It seems somewhat fine in here. We could probably need one here in our base as well. So what if we just put down one there? That should hopefully give us enough charging for now. And let's just give it a bit of time to sort itself out. Yeah, hopefully that solves this huge problem we have right here. Could probably have done it that way, might actually have been better, but yeah, this should be fine. So everything's working very nicely. We have a surplus of most things except steel, which is our a big problem, but then again we are using quite a lot. So one of the things I want to try this episode is pretty much putting in a few productivity modules, and I'm just gonna give you a bit of background knowledge why I want to try to do that. Let's just make this go away. There we are. The reason why is that at the moment we have almost 7K robots in the air. That is not optimal. Some of it is because of this, but it's also because we are moving so many items. So if you put in productivity modules in most of our smelters, or at least the iron and steel ones, we will reduce the speed with about 30%. Meaning 30% less travel time in the air for the robots, saving that energy. But we'll also increase the energy. So if it's gonna be a net gain or loss, I'm not quite sure, but in any case it will save us resources, and in that regard it's quite good. So let's try and put some into the ones that's using the most, as that would be a good place to start. We'll just gather a few to my person, so always have 50 on me. That's something I like to do, as it gives me something to measure with. Let's go up. Hopefully we cleared out this entire lane now for driving. That is very nice. So we don't have to watch. Oh, that's not clear yet. That way we can kind of steer around all of the trees and rocks, at least in the future. So let's see here. If you look, these has been producing 3,000 times. I think some of those up top is a bit more active, or at least have produced a lot more. So I think that might be a good place to start. So what if we tried that? As you can see, they consume quite a bit more power. And the power is, that's not because of this, but is all struggling a bit because we're moving a lot out. But hopefully this can help us a bit. If you look at the power consumption between them, it goes from 186 kilowatts or 186 kilowatts to 460 or 86. So that's a bit of an increase, but hopefully it will be worthwhile. What we can do then is actually do this to get, or I thought we could, seems we can't. So, but in the future at least, it will be able to place down. So let's just do this, adding into all these, just to give it a bit more of a power save. How does this one look then? If you look in terms of production. It does increase, but it shouldn't increase too much. And yeah, we'll just kind of let this go a bit. And this will all be moved, and look all the things that are getting moved around the world. So hopefully, if we fill all of our smelters with the productivity, that should help in terms of at least the amount of ore and yeah, the amount of ore we move around, by pretty much reducing 30% of the amount we need. Yeah, that is pretty much the plan. So we'll just let this run. One thing I have thought about, we might not be able to do a completely perfect ratio, but we can do something like this. So if you copy it down one more time, that will give us close, that'll give us what is called 4 out of the 5 we need. But if we add a second one that's going to give us the 5, we won't have enough room for this one. So what we can do is add one more tier 3, and then do one more of tier 2 and tier 1, just to have a somewhat optimal ratio. And then let's get 1-1 as well. So that is as close to a perfect ratio as I can get with at least this kind of setup. So that should produce almost twice as many tier 3s. That is very, very good. So now we just have to give our robots a bit of time to catch up. Oh, a lot of steel is also going to the barrels, so that's actually something we'll have to watch as well. But things are moving along at a very, very nice pace. This is filled up with oil. Water is filled up here because it's coming from the pump. But over here we are still lacking a bit. Is this up and running? This is working now, so hopefully that will solve out our water situation. So down here we are still building a massive amount of solar panels. And one thing I think, if I look here, we just hit the 1 gigawatt. What should we call it? 1 gigawatt level or capacity. So that's actually quite good. And that should make our lives a whole lot easier, since the, what's it called? Steam engines only account for about 30% of our maximum capacity now, if that case. So less and less dependent on steam and more dependent on solar. That is good, but still keeping the the steam as a backup. So let's see here. Let's just put in the rest of these so we have at least these running at the speed I want in terms of getting productivity done. Yeah. So can't complain about that. Robots are hopefully moving a bit faster now. At least they are charging. And the same here. So the deadlock is done. It's gone here, and it's not that bad up this way. And the one we had in the base is also slowly getting solved. So that is looking quite good. We'll just take one more night before we expand too much to see how our power is holding up. Don't want to tax our system too much, as that would lead to a catastrophic problem. So yeah, that is not bad. So whilst this is going, we can start to look at the next thing. Not the speed modules yet, since the power needed for all of this is still a bit too great. but we will look at it quite soon. So should we set up some flying robot frames? We have batteries, we have electric engines. Don't really want to spend the batteries yet on this one. So let's wait a bit. We could set up a rocket fuel production, just to have it being made, as we do have enough light oil and solid fuel in storage, or at least light oil in storage. And that way we can just take our little blueprint from up here to activate that, being, where's it at? This little setup. Fly something in. This is fine. So pretty much just need to fly in the light oil to get this up and running. So let's try and steal this. How much of a spot does this need? If we add it in somewhere around here, let's just put it right in the middle for now. And then we can always move it a bit. There we are. We'll have to change the outputs. We'll have to add a few of you and take you away. Take the belt out. Add in a few passive providers. Of course, we will limit it to 1 stack. And there we are. Light, we'll just need a bit of input. And then this one should actually be able to work at a somewhat decent speed. And supply us with some more rocket fuel. But we'll just put down the light oil input. So let's see here. Right here we have the input of water. We'll just kind of change you to something else. So we can just do it. Yeah, let's just do it here for now. We can always move it a bit in the future. There we are. No idea if one is going to supply enough, but we will at least find out. And you can go away as well and add in you with that one. So when this is built, it will start to work, producing the solids going into a rocket fuel. The same on both sides, and everything is just connecting up very, very nicely. I'm quite sure one won't be enough, but we will at least have some production going in a little while. That'll also help with the amount of light oil we kind of have backed up down here, slowing everything down. So that is actually going to be good. This one is emptying out a bit. So that is actually looking very nice. We could probably move this one up here as well to make room for some more cracking. But let's wait a bit with that. Or just solve it right now. That could also be a thing to do to make this setup a bit better. At least 30% better than, or 33% better at doing heavy to light oil. But let's just check if it's even needed. Not quite sure it is. So that is good. This will slowly get built. I'll just kind of leave it. Remember to take you away and just take you away and hook you up to some power somewhere. Oh, these doesn't quite connect, but if we do that, it should be good. So that will hook up with no problem. So this is running. Is it running at full speed? That's actually quite nice. Did not expect it to do that, so I am pleasantly surprised. That means our production of accumulators and solar hits 150. Oh, and solar is way down. That's probably because of the steel. But yeah, no worries, that will sort itself out very, very soon. So a lot more charging here, a lot more accumulators being placed down at our solar fields that are slowly but surely getting filled around the base. One thing we could do is add some mining to this one to get some more landfill made. We are missing quite a bit. We only have about... How much landfill do we have? Nothing storage. We have no landfill in storage since it's all being used down here. So let's just go and set up a mining outpost. And while there, I want to... Oh, we can't even do the beacon setup since that will require quite a few... what's it called? Productivity ones. Or speed ones even. Could also add a bit of... or can we add it to these? I can't remember. I think we can. Yeah, that's quite good. They are quite expensive, so getting productivity in these is actually very, very good. Because look how much they're taking. So that's fine. We'll leave that. So let's expand out, get some more stone so we can get our landfill done. Just to have something going. Power-wise, that looks decent enough. So let's go up this way towards Old Base. Are we going to hit right in the middle of this one? We are, but that way we can just do this, 2, 3, 4, and just take out what we have here in the middle. Pretty much removing that part. And then making sure to add one more to cover this area. One right in the middle can actually do it, but we can also just do 2 like this to cover it. There we are. I think that will cover just about what we need. And then let's add a few miners to this. There we go. And let's copy this one up here and down there. Oh, and I can see I made a small mistake. But, oh, small mistake, but we're not going to gather that small amount. We will probably get that sometime in the future, or just do a little sneaky to get it. Can we fit in one of these? No, so we can just do... What if we shift everything down 1? Please go to right here instead. That should be fine. And take you to there. And then we just need to hook up the last few right here. And then this one should be set up and ready to go. You can go away and you can go away. Don't like it when we have two lined up on top of each other. That normally means that we have misplaced something. But it seems to be good in this case. Yeah, this should all hook up very nicely as soon as we get it flown in. So that is that. We can leave this to be constructed by robots and look for it later. Down here, copper is not keeping up. Or we still are barely keeping up. So that should still be fine. That is good. Steel is still the bad thing. And that could actually also be because of all the barrels we have floating around the base. But not really anything we can do about that at the moment. Because as you can see, we're storing about 2,000 steel just in these. Since one barrel is 1 steel. And we have almost 2,000 there. So that is actually, that's fine enough. Not really anything we can do about it. But yeah. That's the rest of that filled in, and the rest of that filled in. And can we fill out the rest here as well? There we go. So that's gonna look way nicer, and it'll give us room to put down roboports as soon as they are done constructing. So yeah, base is moving along very, very nicely. So let's see. Batteries, fine. Sulfuric acid, fine. So the only thing we actually need to look at right now is our steel production. And let's just mark this with steel as well. And we could just make one more just below for the crafting more steel. We don't have the robots to support it. So we might soon set up flying robot frames as well. Since we're not really getting any from... we're getting a few. But not that many for these. So as you can see, this is starting to dwindle a bit. Or it will, at least when we start to use more and more. And here you'll see the main reason for doing this kind of grid design with the 2 rows of raw ports in between, because I know how power hungry vanilla robots are. So that is good. Should we hook up? Let's see, this connects all the way down to here. We are almost taxing this entire iron patch. So yeah, we'll probably have to think about something to do here in a minute when everything goes down here. So what if we just look at our steel? Producing 1.1k a minute. We're not consuming that much, but that can mostly be because we're not producing that much. Or is the steel consumption just going down quite a bit? It has been steadily going up. But yeah, it is leveling out about where our production is at. So adding another steel column might actually be the best solution. But that will add a lot more robots to our system. Or at least a lot more moving around. And that will lead to different kinds of problems. So yeah, decisions. But while we decide, we can expand out the power even more. Half a day, that's because of steam engines that it lasts that long. So should we just put down a few more? Because robots always need something to do. So let's just do this. Please continue. That also means that we'll explore more and more of this area. That's an iron patch, don't want to put it in that one. Same issue we have right there. But we can go around this coal patch. And there we go. Here and here. A long travel time for robots. That does cost us quite a bit of power. But other than that, there is not really that many negative things to say about it. Yeah, that looks completely fine. And a few more here. Never giving our robots a chance to catch up, or our base for that matter. It just needs to keep working, supplying us with everything we need. So how's it coming along up here? The first part is being built. This is slowly being delivered, so that should be done in not that long. Of course, we might have a few too many radars around the base, but we can start to clear some out if that becomes an issue, even in our solar fields down here. Because each one we remove will add more solar in, but then again, it won't matter much since our accumulated success solar ratios are correct. Oh, our power is really... Oh, it just dips down to about 20%, giving us our little alert. So that means that what we're doing is completely correct. But yeah, look at this. Oh, a lot of these are building up. So it was about right time. 800, 600, they are gonna get delivered out very, very soon. So that is quite good. Should we add more miners? It will tax our system. Only consumes 90 kilowatts or 1.5 solar panel. So we could add more. And I think we might need to. We still have 37k in storage, but we have to watch that. How much are we producing? Consuming way more than we're producing, but then again, these are not being used yet. But let's just expand into the one over here. I think that will be the best solution for now. So firstly, let's just get ourselves a radar to explore this, or we can just kind of go down there ourselves and get this set up. Kind of want to landfill this little area in. Please do this, little robots, so we can get all of the iron from these patches. It's always way easier when there's no water you have to build around. So there we are. So hopefully we'll get some landfill made. At least we are starting to hook up all of our stone up here. Though that will just mean we'll have more robots in there, so in that regard it might be a bit annoying for us. But look how many is flying around. I love watching it. And now we're gonna have a line going from here to there as well. Oh, look at that. That is a lot of construction robots that has to go home, pick up accumulators and solar panels, and start to build in this area down here. Yeah, the lines are coming along nicely here. So let's just set up a small amount. Should we set up a small amount here? I think we'll kind of have to wait a little while. There we go. Please just get that hooked up so we can see this area. Oh, look at them really struggling to get back. Oh, poor robots. One day you'll feel a lot better, but today is not that day. So let's see here. I think that might be a somewhat decent place to call the episode. Power is running. Oh, that is first time that has happened. Even a full day of solar is... wait, that's not a full day of solar, is it? Oh, that makes sense. I was like, that was full day of solar. Nope, we are still overproducing because for steam engines, so that is fine. Is this one hooked up? Oh, yeah, that was a lot of rocket fuel. Let's set it to a row instead. We don't really have that much at a time. So there we are. That is running. Can this one keep up? So far, it looks like it's no issue at all. So yeah, that is rocket fuel fixed. And on that high note, like I was saying, I'll end this episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll give me a like and a subscribe, and then I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.